What's up, team? Mikey Bell here with Outdoor Adventure Training, and today we're doing a little 10-minute active recovery stretch for backcountry skiers and splitboarders. Just yesterday, I was lucky enough to compete in the Mount Ashland Skimo Summit, which is a super gnarly backcountry ski race that takes place in the Mount Ashland backcountry, gaining 5,500 feet of elevation. It took me about 3 hours to complete. It was quite hard, but I managed to secure the first place spot in the heavy metal category. Now, of course, after a big effort like that, my body is pretty sore, and at the same time, it is absolutely dumping outside right now here in Southern Oregon. We got a cold storm moving through, expecting to stack up all day and all night. And you know it, I'm getting out there again tomorrow. So this routine is designed to stretch out the quads, the hamstrings, the hips and glutes, all the muscles that I'm gonna need to get some more vert and powder tomorrow. You really don't need anything for this short routine. This is best performed after skiing to help your muscles relax and recover. So let's dive right in. This routine is gonna use a combination of active stretching and static stretching to mobilize, bring some blood flow, and ultimately get you ready to get after it again tomorrow. We're gonna start off sitting on our hips, and we're gonna do some 90-90 hip rotations. This is a really good way to check in with where your hips are at today. So I'm at a 90-90, working on driving this knee into the floor and then transitioning to the other side. Nice and easy, warming up the hips and the glutes. You might get a little relief in the lower back with this one. Hopefully you've been getting after it in the backcountry or even at the resort. After a long dry spell in January, we're back in the flow. It's snowing in town right now, and we're only at 2,000 feet. Pretty exciting to finally be getting some cold powder days back in the forecast. Just one more rotation here, and then we're gonna switch into a different static and active stretch flow, starting with a deep lunge stretch. I'm gonna go right leg forward first, and this is where having a couple blocks handy can be nice. So this is kind of our static lunge stretch, 90 and 90 with the legs. We're going deep here, and I'm gonna let this knee drive over my toe. And this is very intentional to also work on our ankle and calf mobility while getting really deep into that back hip. And this is where we can get a little active with it by just unweighing and weighing that front leg. Just a little bit of micro movement. Focusing on your breathing, visualizing tomorrow's powder day. My legs are definitely sore and fatigued, which is why today is a bit of an active recovery day. Let the new snow fall, get my mind right, get my body right for tomorrow. Of course, nutrition, sleep, hydration, and movement all play a huge role in recovery. Now from here, I'm gonna keep my blocks with me. I'm just rocking back into a half splits position. So this leg is straight or mostly straight. If your knee's a little bent, that's okay. I'm hinging forward, looking for a deep stretch through the calves and hamstrings. Once again, we can get active with it on an inhale. Lift just a little, and then exhale. Folding forward, looking for that deep stretch through the calves and hamstrings. Folding once again. Active and static stretching both have immense value, and I highly encourage you to do a little bit of both, especially in a short 10-minute routine. Sometimes I feel like I get more out of the active stretching if that's all I have time for, whereas with the static stretching, I feel like I get more out of that when I have a solid chunk of time. Good work. We're gonna switch legs now, starting with that low lunge, deep low lunge. So again, find that standard low lunge position and then just really work on driving that front knee forward. You can also bring this front foot back some. So really deep hip extension, which as we're walking uphill when we're backcountry skiing, we're getting a lot of hip extension. We're also getting a lot of hip flexion on the way up with all that weight on our feet from our skis, bindings, boots. So it's nice to open up those hip flexors. All of these stretches and many, many more are embedded in our Alpine Touring Program. So if mobility is something you've been neglecting and you need a little bit more accountability on that front, we got you covered. Feeling that stretch through the front calf, back hamstring. And then we're gonna walk it on back to our half splits. Again, just pushing my hips back, looking for that really deep stretch through the hamstrings and calves. My hammies are tight today. That was probably the #1 muscle that I was feeling while moving uphill yesterday, especially on those last couple climbs. Hamstrings were burning. I do have one funny story from yesterday's race that I will share with you at some point today that I wouldn't recommend doing at home. Big inhale, big exhale and fold. You can also work on dorsiflexion and plantar flexion through the foot. That can be really nice too. Nice work. We're gonna move the blocks off to the side for now. We're gonna get into a seated pigeon pose. This is a really lovely way to stretch out the glutes, and I'm sure I'm gonna feel it today. So just crossing that ankle over the knee, moving my hips in towards my foot, and I'm working on pushing this knee away from me. And we can get active by pressing and then relaxing, or if it feels good just to hold it statically, that's fine. You can also rock a little side to side. So these pink skis behind me are what I was using yesterday. Heavy metal skis. The skis themselves are about 2,000 grams a pop, plus the ATK bindings, which I love and trust because they're bomber and burly. At least that's what I thought. Until the final skin to the first boot pack, my toe piece broke. So I did the boot pack, got to the top of Mount Ashland for our final ski down, 1,100 vertical feet in bounds. And it was pretty chundery. We had about a foot of new snow, but my toe piece didn't work. We're gonna switch legs here. So I took a ski strap, strapped it around my boot and ski, which is less secure than a binding, as you can imagine. And I managed to ski all the way down to the bottom and then boot pack to the finish line, and somehow still managed to pull off the W. It was not fun. It was not easy. It was a little disappointing because now my binding's broken, but no worries. We're gonna get that taken care of before tomorrow, hopefully, to get back out there. If you have any crazy gear breakdown issues, I'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments section. Hopefully you're feeling these stretches in the hips. Keep breathing deeply. Hopefully the storytelling helped distract you from the intense sensation in the hip that I'm feeling right now. Hopefully you are too. Nice work. All right, we got one more stretch on both sides, which is one of my favorite static stretches of all time, reclined TFL stretch. I'm gonna cross the ankle over the knee, just like how we were in our seated pigeon pose, but now I'm gonna let this foot flop down to the floor. And I'm simultaneously, once again, working on subtly pushing this knee away, looking for a deep stretch in that outer hip region. We're really targeting a little bit of glute, but really the tensor fascia lata muscle, which is the muscle belly for the IT band. So if you ever experience pain on the outside part of your knee when you're skinning uphill, it's likely because your IT band is tight, which the way we target that is by hitting the TFL, the origin of that IT band. Breathing deeply here. We're gonna get a little more passive now. let that hip open up, give you some freedom to crush some vert tomorrow. Nice work. We're going to come out of this slowly, get ready for our final stretch on the other side. These are 90-second holds, which is really ideal for static stretching at a minimum. If we're really looking for those long-term flexibility gains. A lot of people hate on static stretching. I really think that's just because people don't want to invest the time and everyone's looking for that quick fix. But I'll tell you right now, these long static holds really change the way our body moves and functions. It's a really good way to regulate our nervous system and chill out after all the adrenaline of ski and pow in the backcountry. We need to chill out, relax. Really feeling that on this side. Such a good way to unwind. Once again, we'll come out of this slowly. Nice job. Hopefully, even this short routine wasn't too terribly difficult for you. If you are feeling tight, don't forget to check out our Alpine Touring Program. We offer a 7-day free trial with tons of mobility routines just like this, along with all the stability and strength and balance that you need to really tear it up in the backcountry. But ultimately, I hope this routine allows you to recover a little better so you can get after it again tomorrow. Once again, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time here at Outdoor Adventure Training.